What's up, everybody? Rod J back again and take a look at another beer. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. Taking a look at this one from Rogue. This one kind of interesting. It's called the New Crustacean Barley Wineish Imperial IPA, sorta. The artwork kind of caught my eye when I picked this one up, as you can see there on the bottle. And some of the Rogue bottles have some nice drawn on artwork for sure. Here is the back of the bottle as well. If you want to zoom that in somehow, you can see the writing. As always, Rogue puts too much information on their stuff, I think. I don't know if anybody's going to really sit there and read as much as the details they actually include, but it does make mention of the hops here being used are Bravo, Amarillo, Falconer's Flight, and Horizon. Kind of interesting, though, because they're saying it's kind of a mix between kind of like a barley wine and kind of like an IPA. The ABV on this one is 11.6%, so it's definitely up there for that criteria. Let's go ahead and get it open and get it in a glass. And this is a 1 pint, 9.4 ounce bottle. Now, I never really think of an IPA kind of having barley wine type qualities because of the difference in how the beers are. You know, barley wines are usually dark, and IPAs are usually like they are here with a nice golden orange color on it. Definitely looks for what it should be, a little cloudiness in there. Definitely fermented in the bottle, as I can see. A couple of smaller type particles floating around. Came out easily with a nice two-finger head pour. And that pretty much sits a little bit barely off-white. On the aroma, I'm getting a little bit of a funkiness with it, but I am picking up the hops in there. Almost has like a floral type feel, a little bit of a pininess type feel, but it does also have a little bit of a sour quality. And of course with Rogue, they don't put the dates on the bottle, so I picked this up a little bit ago. Let's see how it is in the taste. But as far as the initial feel of the aroma, it's got like a little bit of funkiness, best way to describe it really. Do pick up a little bit of yeast in there as well, coming off the aroma. Kind of a yeasty type feel. As far as the taste definitely has more of a barley wine type quality. That flavor, I'm getting some initial bitterness on the front and also on the back. You definitely feel a punch of that alcohol in there. You are getting a little bit of that booziness as well. Definitely gets the mouth going a little bit. I can definitely feel a little bit of an astringency into a puckering effect with the lips. Feeling the beer get around the inside of the cheeks as well. It's got a little bit of a pungent type feel. Flavor-wise, getting a little bit of a sweetness in there. A little bit of a little bit of a maltiness, but it has the bitterness quality, like in the texture with the flavor and how it sits on the palate. You're definitely looking at a full body type beer, not one you want to rush through on this one. Texture, as I mentioned, does have a slight bit of dryness on the back end, but not fully dry. Carbonation, not overly carbonated. Get a little bit of that in there, not really getting much of a burn on the swallow, but you do feel a little bit of that bubble action taking place. And as far as the finish, it can go down rather easily, but it does have a little bit of a medicine-y type feel on the back end as well. It's definitely a different type feel. I'm not sure how many people would actually dig on this one. I think you'd have to probably have a unique type flavor palette. You're going to have a range of a palette to really take this one all in my opinion. I think if someone was new to craft beer, this could be something that could be a pretty quick turnoff for them. But if you've been drinking craft beers for a while, this might be something here you would be able to deal with and drink. It's not terrible, not great. It's kind of just, it's different more than anything. So as far as going ahead and taking a look at the rating on this one, as far as appearance, it's got a nice appearance. You have a nice color on the body. It does have a haziness to it, so you don't have a lot of clarity. It does have a murkiness to it. You can barely see through to the other side. It does have a little bit of the particles in there from the fermentation in the bottle, but it does leave a little bit of lacing as well. Head does dissipate kind of quick along those lines, but if something has a barley wine type feel, usually a head is not going to be around as long either. So appearance wise, not really too bad. Kind of a decent type thing as far as, you know, being respectable in that regard, but it's not something that's overly great either. So for me, the appearance on this one, I'm going to actually give this one an 11 out of 15. As far as the aroma, it's got that almost like, I say that funkiness, and you look at the thing here on the cover, it's got like a crab, and it's almost got like a seafood type feel, or a something from like the ocean type feel when you're on that aroma, that you can say that crab actually makes sense. So it makes me think they might have been actually going for that when you look at the picture there and thinking of a crustacean or something along those lines. So that funkiness seems like they were actually heading for this one. It does come out of the glass pretty easily. You're not having to sniff overly hard to actually pull that out of there. So it kind of does deliver on that. But it's not a flavor that's really into the malty, into the hoppy, or along those lines. It's kind of just a kind of, like I said, sour type feel. And with that one, I don't know if that's going to be like a driving factor for this type of beer. You do get some of the yeast type notes coming out from the yeast that was used as well. But for me, as far as aroma on this one, I'm going to give this one here a 10 out of 15. As far as the flavor, you do have a bitterness as described that you want to have for something like this that would have an IPA type quality, or even some of the barley wines can have a little bit of a bitterness in there. You have a nice break between the initial to the finish. You get a good duration on the finish. The flavors do last around. They do kick around for a good amount of time. So I think when you're looking at the flavor for what you're actually getting out of this one, that it does okay in that regard. So for me, flavor on this one is going to be 11 out of 15. As far as on the palate, again, everything I pretty much said. You know, you're looking at a full body. You're looking at a texture. It does have a little bit of a crisp feel to it as well. It's an okay texture. Carbonation is pretty decent on it, not overly carbonated. And then the finish of it actually isn't too bad either. So on the palate for me on this one, I'm going to say actually 11 out of 15 as well. And then as far as being an overall beer, it's something different. It's kind of something unique, and it's something neat with Rogue trying to reach out to do something different. So you want to give them some props for that. But is this a beer that I would actually go out and probably hunt down or probably buy again? Probably not. So in that regard, it's kind of like, it's a good attempt to try to do something along those lines, but maybe some things just shouldn't be done. Overall, for me, on a beer like this, I'd actually give this one here a 30 out of 40. So let's total all of those up here and see what we have for the total score. So for me, this one is actually a 73 out of 100. So down around that C minus type area, so to speak. If you've had this before, let me know what you think. Put some comments in the comment section. Unfortunately, it just didn't fully deliver something like I thought it was going to do, but that's okay. That all being said, thanks for swinging by to check out another video. I look forward to catching you guys next time. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that good jazz. Keep drinking good craft beers, and get your beer on. Cheers.